Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. In this video, Brantley and I are going to be giving you guys our Loki Season 1 series review. In this video, we're going to be going over all of our thoughts on the finale, the season as a whole, and how it compares to other Disney Plus TV shows. Before we get into it, if you guys are new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on so you don't miss any time I upload a new video or go live. Also, check out all of Brantley's social medias in the description down below. But without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. Brantley, the first thing, just what did you think of the finale overall? Because I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was great, man. Just so many unexpected twists and turns. The way the finale was executed and all built up to, it really came together. This is by far the best, I would say, finale. And we're gonna get to it later, but Loki's probably the best Disney Plus show. I think this finale really, the show stuck the landing, and it was really good.
Yeah, I think that this was one of the finales where it didn't feel like it had, at least to me, it didn't really feel like it had as much stakes because it felt like they dragged on that goal for so long. Like, we've known the goal since episode 2 or like episode 3, like who's behind the TVA, that's what we're trying to find. But the way they executed it was just so well done, and every element of this episode was so well balanced. Like, if you think about like the comedy, I was not expecting this much comedy in this episode, but it worked. I wasn't expecting to have this much fun. I'm gonna be honest. I thought this was gonna be way more serious of an episode, but it ended up being way more lighthearted than I thought, and I actually really liked that because it fit with Kang the Conqueror's character. But what do you think this episode, or what do you think this finale sets up for the rest of the MCU? Because we had some absolutely crazy stuff go down. So what do you think it did?
Yeah, well, I mean, of course, the biggest thing, the multiverse. Of course, now the multiverse is officially in madness. So, of course, we have Spider-Man No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, even What If, all that's going to tie in. So this is great to see how the MCU has so far set all that up between this, WandaVision, and all those upcoming projects. So that's the biggest thing. And then, yeah, Kang, of course, Quantumanium. And it's just this show, like, really, this finale alone, like, just kind of put, like, those pieces in place for so many other projects. And it was just, it's going to be crazy. Phase 4 is starting to heat up, and I'm excited to see what else is in store.
Yeah, literally just one finale episode. Like, I think this finale did more for any Marvel like project than any of the other shows like combined. Like, even if you put episodes of WandaVision and you combine them as one, I think this episode by far set up so much in the MCU. And at first I was like, oh, this episode won't do much for the future of the MCU. I was like, we'll probably get to see Kang a little bit. We'll probably get multiverse stuff. But the entire episode revolved around these aspects, and I didn't really expect that, but I loved it. So, Brantley, what did you think of this series as a whole? Because I know you thought it's the best Disney Plus series. I think it is, Marvel Disney Plus series. I think it is as well. But what did you think of the series overall? All the episodes, filler, non-filler. What did you think?
I thought it was great. I thought the show was pretty consistent in quality each week. I mean, of course, there's some episodes I like more than others, but I'd say for the most part, there wasn't an episode I consider bad. All the episodes are pretty solid throughout, from episodes 1 to episode 6. And yeah, I thought it was just consistent in quality, and the show really kept the mystery going, kept me intrigued each week. And of course, solid action. Of course, Tom Hiddleston, Owen Wilson, just really charismatic actors. Even Jonathan Majors in this episode, he was really fun to watch. And just Sylvie, everyone in the show was really good all around. Probably my favorite cast too out of any of the Disney Plus shows. All the actors and actresses really just brought their A game. So yeah, I think that's why this show is like probably my favorites, because it was so consistent each and every week. There wasn't like really a bad episode in my opinion.
Yeah, also I feel like out of all the shows, I think we knew the least amount of characters / supporting cast beforehand. Like, we didn't know B-15, Ravonna, even Sylvie, like, and Mobius. Like, we only knew Loki.
Yeah.
But I think this show connected us most with the characters because this show had the most emotional moments, like Ravonna and Mobius's relationship, Mobius and Loki's relationship, Loki and Sylvie, B-15 and Sylvie. Like, everyone had somewhat of a connection together, and I think that's what made this show so good compared to like WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier. But before we get into comparing the shows, let's rank the episodes. So Brantley, you can go first.
All right, so I can start off at the top. My favorite episode of the show probably be episode 4. It's a really great episode, just great build up, a great ending, just everything was really solid. The next would be episode 6, of course, the finale. We talked about it already, but so much went down. Just great execution, a lot of subverting expectations, a lot of twists and turns that worked out. Episode 2 is my third. I loved it a lot. The dialogue, that dialogue between Loki and Mobius was really solid, and just that build up to the reveal of Sylvie and how that was all executed towards the end at the Roxxon cart area, the store. That was just all great. I loved the suspense from that scene and everything. So that's my third. And then my fourth is episode 1. This pilot was really, really good. really got me. It's probably my favorite pilot so far out of all the Marvel Disney Plus shows, and I thought it was really solid. The next episode 5 is this kind of controversial one. A lot of people love episode 5. This person I wasn't feeling as much as the other episodes. I thought it was great though. Of course, I like all of the actors. Boastful Loki, classic Loki, Kid Loki, even Alligator Loki. Like they were all super dope to watch, and it was fun seeing all of them interact. I guess why it's so low is I just didn't feel like it really was like necessary, I guess. But I thought it was a fun episode. And then in my last episode, I think I have episode 3 at last. But episode 3 it was good. Like Lamentus, I feel like it's kind of underrated. A lot of people don't like it, or thought it was kind of boring or filler. But I thought it did a lot to build up the character of Loki and Sylvie. But yeah, I put it probably as right under 5 in that last spot.
So my rankings for all the episodes at number 1 is actually as episode 6 for all time always. I think this is again the best finale that Disney Plus has made so far. I think that this is one of the best pieces of Marvel content to cap off a story. Number 2 on the list is episode 4, the Nexus event. I think this episode was I honestly didn't really like this episode at first, but when I rewatched it, I really fell in love with it. And also I think this episode overall really shows us Mobius and Loki's relationship developing over the show. I think this is the main episode that really shows that downfall and that upside. So that's why I really like episode 4. In third place is actually episode 3, Lamentus. I'm actually a really big advocate for this episode. I think that this episode is one of the best, I would say, quote, filler episodes that Disney Marvel Plus has made, even though I don't consider it a filler episode because of how much it's done for the characters. And in fourth place is episode 2, actually, The Variant. I just think the Sylvie reveal at the end really carries the episode, but throughout the episode, we get so much of Mobius and Loki's relationship, as well as just relationships overall. I think this episode really is what piqued that suspense for the Loki series. This is the episode that really brought me in. Loki episode 1, it had a cool ending with Sylvie in the cloak and killing the timekeepers. That was cool, but episode 2 really brought me in. And then in 5th place is episode 5, Journey into the Mystery. I think the whole mission of escaping the void, killing Goliath, and getting to the kingdom was super well done. But like Brantley said, I think it was just slightly misplaced. And then the final episode, number 6, I think it's episode 1, Glorious Purpose. By no means do I think this is a bad episode. I think it's just as good as episode 5. I just enjoyed episode 5 a little bit more. Glorious Purpose, I think, like Brantley said, is probably the best pilot that Disney Plus has made. In comparing it to other shows, what do you think this is the best Marvel Disney Plus show, right?
Yes, I mean, even doing these rankings was super hard. Like, I changed some stuff literally just last minute looking at it. I'm like, every episode is so close, and there wasn't an episode I really considered bad. Yeah, this is definitely my favorite, and probably, in my opinion, the best Marvel Disney Plus show so far.
Yeah, so I agree. I think the one that I've seen people argue a lot about is Falcon the Winter Soldier, and I could also see a valid argument for WandaVision, but I think what makes this Loki series so good is that it combines like the mystery aspect of WandaVision while still having that grounded dialogue aspect of Falcon the Winter Soldier, because the mystery is what made WandaVision so good, and the dialogue and character development is what made Falcon the Winter Soldier so good. And the fact that they mixed it together, and it was just so well done, I think. And that's why I think it's the best. I think it's the best of both worlds. Not to say WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier are bad. I just think it combines the best of both of them. So that's why I think it's the best. Now, Bradley, we've both seen Mandalorian season 1 and 2, which are the most popular Disney Plus shows outside of the Marvel things. Do you think this is the best Disney Plus series so far?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Mandalorian is a really good show, so that's kind of hard. But I mean, right now I would probably say, yeah, like it's definitely, at least it's my personal favorite so far from Disney Plus. But I don't know, best like Mando, man, yeah, that's a tough one.
Dude, Mando season 1 is a really hard. Like, I could understand season 2, I think, but season 1, I might have to rewatch that. If you guys want to see a Disney Plus shows ranking, I'm so down to do that. But I think this show is super unique in that it like connected to the bigger picture of Marvel while still being like concise in its own thing. And I think it's because of the relationships that were built. Do you think that TV shows are a viable way to impact universes now? Because we saw, spoilers for Black Widow if you haven't already seen it, The end of Black Widow is going to lead directly into Hawkeye. The end of Loki is going to literally lead to the rest of the MCU changing forever. So what do you think it's viable now that TV shows are going to directly impact the MCU or just universes in general?
Yeah, I do, because I think right now the way the MCU is executing it, like they're doing it in a really just like kind of just masterful way. Like it's almost like genius how they're executing it. Because technically, even though yes, the multiverse is in madness due to what happened at the end of this episode of Loki, like the way it ends, technically you wouldn't need to watch that to really understand what's going on if it's addressed in No Way Home. So like it's still like the show can still be satisfying, but it's not like you have to watch them to understand what's going on, which is I think that's like the best way to do it. And I was really shocked. I feel like the shows, I was scared when they first announced the shows and how they're gonna be formatted. Cause like, oh, are they really gonna have stakes? Are they gonna be important? Because they wouldn't necessarily impact like the main timeline as much. But now we're seeing how they're doing it, and like they're still impactful and satisfying, but also they're not like necessary watching. So right now with the way the MCU is doing it, I think they're doing it in a really good way.
Overall, Loki season 1, I loved it. You loved it. What do you think is going to happen in season 2? Or give me a basic premise.
Oh, basic premise. It's hard because I feel like so much is gonna happen between the end of this finale and season 2. We have No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, Quantumania. Well, no, it might drop before Quantumania, but we at least have those 2 movies, and so much could change throughout those. But I'm saying basic premise, probably. I don't know. It's hard because we don't even know what's gonna happen like with the multiverse like before the next season. But I would say we're probably going to get some sort of follow up with Ravonna, of course, because they kind of left her ending. Any of her character kind of open-ended with her just kind of leaving and going somewhere. I don't know what they're going to do with her, but maybe she meets a version of Kang, maybe, since I know they were together in the comics. So maybe she runs into a version of Kang possibly, or something like that. The basic premise, I think it's going to be kind of Loki and the TVA, him and Mobius. It's probably just going like another kind of time travel-esque adventure. But also, I don't even know what's going to happen with Sylvie, honestly, because she might just try to take, maybe she's a villain possibly, maybe, and eventually at a certain point she might give in like to like the dark side or something, her kind of corruption, but it might become like the next villain. I think that'd be really cool if she was a villain of the next season possibly. So I can see that being the case too. So there's so many things that they can do, so many different directions that they can go in. So I'm just excited.
Everything is revolving around everything else. The multiverse is changing. Everything is going insane. This episode, this finale of Loki was absolutely crazy. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your thoughts on the Loki season as a whole and the finale in the comments down below. Feel free to spoil away. Again, make sure to check out Brantley's social medias in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.